This is the Say It Can't Gamer, and you are live with the MMA Holes.
Human.
Mixed martial a-holes. MMA Holes, MMA Holes, MMA Holes, MMA Holes, MMA Holes. You like to be a mixed martial a-hole. MMA Holes, MMA Holes, MMA Holes, MMA Holes, MMA Holes.
Boom, 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 boom.
No way.
Oh!
From the Queen Studios of New York, UFC Singapore recap. Luke Thomas versus Ariel Helwani. MMA news with the MMA MMA Holes.
I didn't take a deep breath that time.
Wonderful.
What's up, MMA Holes? How's everyone? I hope everyone is wonderful. JBH, Mystic Moss, live on the MMA Holes Hour. We are always shot out of a cannon over here because we are all wonderful. Lots of stuff to talk about today.
Indeed.
Coming off of a fight night, but it was a fight morning.
Fight morning.
That's right, a fight morning.
I enjoyed fight morning. I fell asleep about halfway through.
You did. You
But I
kind of
enjoyed
dozed, but you hung in there.
Fight morning was fun. We need
Yeah.
more fight mornings.
You hung with the boys.
Hanging with the boys.
That's what I did.
Anyway, check this out. The logo. The MMA Holes Hour. We do this every single Monday night. This is episode number 36. Lots of stuff to talk about tonight. We're going to recap UFC Singapore, Cerrone, Leon.
Edwards.
That's right. We're going to discuss Ariel Helwani versus Luke Thomas, which is some pretty interesting stuff today. They kind of went head to head. I have a lot of thoughts on this whole thing. I love it. ESPN versus Vox. There's really no competition right now. It's really funny. We're going to get into that whole situation. We have
Topics.
That's right. We'll do some topics, MMA topics on the MMA Holes. It's all wonderful. We also are introducing something new here, okay? Now, 5 minutes before the show is up, we're actually going to do this. Unlike other MMA Hour shows, right, that don't really go an hour.
Right.
It's like fake news, right? It's like the MMA
Fake
Hour.
news.
Yeah.
Oh, you should do that. Instead of like Doug Rose, it should be fake news. Like a soundbite. Fake news.
But who's saying it?
Me. Fake news.
Oh, okay.
Fake news.
We're just going to make a
Fake news.
soundbite of you saying fake
Fake
news.
news.
Okay.
Fake news.
All right, that could work. Here with the ones, if you want that to happen, we can do that because we could do everything here. So here's the deal. This is how this is going to work. We're going to go 55 minutes into the show, and we're going to do an hour, okay? But with 5 minutes left in the show, there's a little clock down below. It's called Save the Show. It's going to be something new and interactive. And within that 5 minutes, the first person to donate and say, save the show, that
Words.
that donation amount will be the minutes that we go on to extend the show. So, Jessie, does that make any sense?
So if you donate $2 with the caption "Save the Show" in the donation, we will go on for 2 extra minutes. If you donate $100, which is the dance party, the UFC dance party, right? With the caption "Save the Show," we are live for 100 more minutes.
Everyone keeps on saying, keep the show going, but this is the deal. Every Monday, we're going to go an hour. We're going to keep the show going for an hour. We're going to jam the topics in. We're going to be high-paced. We're going to make sure we get to everything. We're going to get to your comments. We're going to take phone calls, and bang, we're off. But if you want the show to keep on going within that 5 minutes at the end, save the show. Now, any donations that come during the show, that's not the Save the Show donations. It's within the 5 minutes.
And you have to say "Save the Show" in the donation. Otherwise, it's just a donation.
Okay, there you go. All right, so here we go. Let's start off the show since we only have an hour. We only have an hour to go. Ariel Helwani versus Luke Thomas was today. Okay.
Yes.
Luke Thomas, it was his first time as the host of the MMA Hour. Okay.
Yeah.
He had, 3 or 4 guests? He had Brendan Schaub.
Yeah.
He had Dan Hardy. He had another MMA reporter who is his own New York Rick. What else did he have on there? I can't remember who the fuck else he had on there.
Schaub and Hardy are the only two I saw before I clocked out.
Yeah, we didn't see the whole fucking show, but he did have like 2 or 3 guests or some shit like that. All right. So here is the deal. He does that for 2 hours. Ariel Helwani used to go on for like 5 or 6 hours on the MMA Hour. The MMA Hour, which made no sense. But Luke Thomas is like, no, I'm going to go 2 hours, and we're going to shut this thing down, and we're going to do the things the way I like to do these things. That's my Luke Thomas. All right, thank you.
Update.
Should I restart the computer during the show?
Sure.
Okay. So Luke Thomas did that. Now, how many people in the chat, before we get all into this whole situation, how many people in the chat actually watched the MMA Hour? I was looking at the ratings, a little lower than normal, but how many in the chat with the ones? Let me know what the ones inside this beautiful contraption. Let me know if you saw the MMA Hour. Sorry, Luke Thomas. We're going to get to Ariel in a second, and I love this. I absolutely love this. Ariel Helwani, Eddie Munster-faced Lumberjack, says Jay Smooth. So there you go. Ow, my kneecap, says my sort. I liked it, says Complex what the fuck? That's Dianetics. That's awesome.
Complex Dianetics?
Yeah, that's a name. That's actually a name. Do Chronic, sort. Wheezing, Shan Wood. Zombie Wolf said, no, I did not see it. David Flores, sort. So the majority, a lot of people did wind up seeing the new and improved MMA Hour. It's the same studio. It looked really weird. Luke Thomas looked like a big ogre, right? Sitting there at the desk. Like,
it was a very interesting setup. He had the Hulk and superhero figures and shit all against the wall.
Yeah.
2 pictures of himself.
He had a picture of himself in the background. Yeah, 2 Marines pictures, which respect for serving and
Frosty and Legos.
Stay Frosty and Legos. Yeah, it was weird. I understand it's the first time he's doing it, so I'm not gonna light him on fire completely. It's the first show, but it was really awkward. I was super awkward. Now, I like Luke, all right? I've met him multiple times. He knows who we are. He's been nothing but nice to us. We've been nothing but mean to him. But he's been nice, right? And he's a good guy. He actually is a good guy in real life. I wanted to watch this, and I wanted to root for Luke because we know Luke, So it's like, all right, let's root for Luke. But the purpose of the show is for us to be real, right? Mm-hmm. And I was sitting there, and I cringed hard. Yeah. And I feel this show is going to change a lot. I really do. If it stays like this, it will nosedive into the ground and explode into a million pieces because it's clunky. It's super clunky. And Luke looks super nervous.
Now, can I just point out one thing? And then you can continue. I just want to point this out before I lose it. He said he didn't want to copy Ariel Helwani's sort of thing going
Meanwhile, he has
on.
the exact same studio.
And let's just point this one detail out. And I'm not trying to say the MMA-Holes can take credit for everything, but the MMA-Holes can certainly take credit for this one. He did say that he wanted to have phone calls, and he was going to allow 1 mouth breather in there. Now, I know that shows can get cringy phone calls and whatnot, and they have screening and everything, but what show intentionally wants cringy phone calls other than the MMA-Holes that cover MMA on YouTube?
The person that gets the most triggered in MMA media, Luke Thomas, right? He wants to introduce cringe to the show, right? And it was so forced. Now, I'm not going to listen. We are the cringiest MMA show on YouTube, so there's no
one like us.
I'm not gonna say, oh my God, they're trying to be like us. Everyone wants to be like us because we're the best, we're the greatest, right? But put that aside. Luke is trying to do something different, which I think he should. I think Luke should do something different for the show,
but not like the MMA-Holes.
Well, listen, we can't take credit for everything.
Well, we can take credit for that.
You know what?
I demand that we take credit for cringy phone calls.
Jesse, all right. We can't take credit for phone calls.
Then I take credit for on part by.
All right, shut up.
As the MMA-Holes for cringy phone calls.
Yeah. All right. So here's the thing: we take credit for a lot, but I'm not gonna take credit for phone calls.
No, cringy. No, not phone calls. Cringy phone calls. He wanted mouth breathers.
Yeah.
We get name another MMA show on YouTube that gets mouth breathers. That legitimately wants mouth breathers.
Well, we didn't ask for it, but they give it to us.
But we embrace the mouth breathers.
We do. Yeah, we do.
Embrace the mouth breathers.
It is weird because if you look at his serious show, right? If you look at his serious show, he takes phone calls and he dismisses cringe. Now he wants to introduce cringe within the MMA Hour. There's another thing about Luke Thomas, too, is when he is speaking to his guests, he speaks in a way where it's like, All right, you could say 2 things, and I'm going to say 40 things. You know, it's really bizarre. Like, he says a million things. It's like, maybe you want to hear what your guest has to say instead of you just rambling on and saying shit. A lot of things I think need to change, and I'm sure they will. But right now, as a first episode of the MMA Hour, I think it failed. I think the first episode failed. Now,
I don't think it failed.
Oh, it's a fail. It's a fail. Yeah.
It was cringy for sure. I don't think it failed, though.
I think it was a complete fail. Compared to
How
what
many
Ariel...
people did he have watching?
Well, I mean, listen, you have the audience already. It's Vox. Ariel has the formula sitting right there. So Luke just kind of sat in on it, and he gave credit to Ariel. But let's be honest, as a show, sitting there watching this show, it was not good. It wasn't good.
No, it was cringy. I'll give you that. I don't know if it was a complete fail, it would have been completely unwatchable. There was a part of it that was a bit watchable.
No, I disagree.
You know why it was watchable? No, do you know why it was watchable? Was because of the fact that Ariel Helwani was leaving, and we did know who Luke Thomas was. People know Luke Thomas's name. You put a nobody in there, you put a no name in there, I guarantee it would have been a fail.
Well, here's
but
the thing.
that's why it was not a fail.
Technically, Luke is a nobody. We know who he is because we are within MMA media.
A lot of people in the MMA
There are a lot of people that don't know who Luke Thomas
is.
is too, though. Like when he goes live, yes, he has like 2,000 people watching, and when he goes live on his own thing, he has about 1,000 people watching. But
he's
when
made
it
more
comes
of a name
Luke
for
Thomas,
himself on the MMA beat, though.
Yeah, but it's still the same. It's you're talking about the same YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about Luke Thomas as a whole. Ariel Helwani gets up. Everyone knows who Ariel is, right? Yeah. Ariel has this face, this voice, this way to get under the skin of the fighters and stuff like that. Luke Thomas did get under John Jones' skin, but he's not quite Ariel Helwani. Ariel Helwani's on a whole nother level, right?
True.
And ESPN recognized that and took him away. Ariel Helwani created the MMA Hour.
Right.
Luke Thomas comes in, and listen, credit to Luke. Luke has done a lot, right? With Bloody Elbow and I mean, he's been a big part of MMA fighting. So credit to him for that. I'm not trying to discredit what he's done before. But what I'm trying to say is, as a show, Luke Thomas sitting there and navigating the show, it was awkward.
It was awkward. It was
like,
cringy.
Little awkward.
It was pretty cringy. I'll give you that. I'm not going to say you're wrong. It was very cringy.
I'm always right.
Well, sometimes. No, I'll give you it.
Yeah.
It was cringy. I personally, now, some people might disagree. I know you disagree. I don't think it was completely unwatchable.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to remember, and Niall Flanagan, I just said it in the chat. This is only day one. You know, you got to give him a little time to get his mojo and his rhythm with the show, and then he'll be gold.
I did say that though. I did say that I feel there's going to be a lot of changes and it's going to get better. But as a first show,
it was cringy.
His right hand, he didn't know what to do with his hand.
He was just sitting there.
He was like, his big mitten was fucking hitting the desk and shit. I'm like, oh, this guy's nervous. And then he even said he had to take like Pepto-Bismol or something beforehand.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did say that.
I don't remember him
for
saying
nerves.
that.
He was nervous.
He took Pepto-Bismol?
That's what he said.
That's to calm his nerves?
Yeah, he did say that. So he was nervous. His first show. We could give him a pass. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. All right. What do you think of the first show? Now, there are a lot of times you can watch a TV show and you could watch the first show and be like, I'm going to like this. Watching Luke Thomas on the MMA Hour, I can't say that. I can't say this is going to work. Maybe it will work. Maybe I'll be wrong. But right now, if you just put this show in front of me, right, and you say, okay, Chris, are you going to continuously watch the show?
Yes.
I'm going to say no.
Yes.
You know why I'm
made an attempt there.
The only reason why I'm going to watch the show is because I know Luke.
No.
Because I know the guy. I'm not going to watch him because of, wow, he did a good job. That's
okay,
I know
now,
the guy.
I will give you this. Now, and you mentioned before, he comes off as a slightly pretty pretentious person if you have not met him in person. If you just see him without ever meeting him, he does come off as a more pretentious type. But I will agree, after meeting him, this guy is legitimately a good dude. Like, you don't think so, but he is.
Yeah, we can say that over and over. He is a good guy. Listen, we're speaking the truth. That's what we're doing over here. Whether we like you or hate you, it doesn't matter. We're going to give our honest opinions. And this is my honest opinion. That's your honest opinion. And we're going to shoot it as it is. Like, if we don't like what a fighter does or says, we're going to call him a piece of shit or you're an asshole. You know, we're going to say that. We don't care here. And
we
Luke,
don't care.
I like Luke. He's a good guy.
Forget about it.
But I think the show sucked. All right. So now let's move on to Ariel. Okay?
Right.
Ariel fucking hit it out of the park.
He did.
Okay.
Agreed.
Ariola.
Ariel.
Yeah, Ariel. He did him and the bad guy. Ariel and the bad guy. I didn't see that. Right?
I saw it.
Oh, you did see it?
It was pretty good.
What, today's? Or you
No, I saw the last one.
You saw like the promo.
No, I saw the show. Ariel and the Bad Guy.
Yeah,
it was like a 30-minute show.
Oh, you saw the whole 30
Yeah,
minutes?
I saw the whole 30 minutes.
Oh, okay. So
it was good. I don't know. There was a part of it that was a little boring, and I think that was more on Chael Sonnen's part. But it is what it is. I think it's a good concept. I certainly think it is a great concept. I think it's a lot like the Luke Thomas theory, where it's going to take a little bit of time for them to get their kind of mojo. But I did see it. It is pretty. It's all right. It's not bad. The thing I like about it, they don't give two fucks. Ariel Helwani and Chael Sonnen don't give two fucks. They will literally go banter back and forth with each other, and they can get hostile with each other. And it's good. I like it.
So now I only saw the little snippet of the promo type thing. And I noticed Ariel Helwani has this character now, right?
Yeah, he does.
He has this weird character where he's trying to like antagonize Chael, and Chael's going back at him, and it's like, okay, we're seeing a new Ariel, so he's developing this personality. So we have to give that a chance. I am not completely used to that yet, so I don't know. I got to watch it for myself to make an accurate criticism.
I highly suggest you watch. If you have not seen it, I highly suggest it. It's only 30 minutes long, but it is worth the watch.
Okay, let's put that aside now. Okay, because that's a side thing what he's doing. Ariel Helwani today did a 5-hour show. Mm-hmm. Okay, he did a 5-hour show, and it's a little confusing. I think they're marketing this all weird. I don't know where you find it. This is a big problem. Is it on ESPN Plus? Is it on? I don't know. I don't know where the fuck it is. I don't know where the hell you can find this Ariel show. All I do know is they hit #1 with podcast ratings. They jumped to #1. Okay.
Yeah.
Ariel comes in with a chip on his shoulder. I watched a little bit of the beginning of it. I wish we could play it, but we'll probably get fucking flagged. So I'm not going to play it. But Ariel comes in. He sits down. He's in a brand new studio, which looks weird. It's like all ESPN-y. Looks like fucking Tron. You ever notice that with ESPN? It's like you're watching an 80s fucking Tron movie. Like, what is up with ESPN with these laser beams and shit? Why does ESPN have laser beams?
It's just very eye-catching.
But what the fuck's with the laser beams? It's like pew, it's like all these weird colors and lasers and shit like that. And look at us, we have shit flying around over here, but no laser beams.
I love how, as you say, pew, the MMA-Holes hour just goes.
Well, we're great. But I did notice this. He comes in with a chip on his shoulder, and he has a stacked guest list. Check this out. This is Ariel Helwani.
Very, very stacked.
This is what he comes in slinging, like ridiculous. Stipe Miocic, Daniel Cormier, got 2 champs right there. Blessed, 3 champs. Rose, 4 fucking champions. Brian Ortega, Lyoto Machida, who goes over to Bellator, is in the news right now. Rampage, all right, we can pass on that one. The Black Beast, who always is interesting. We have Josh Barnett, who's in the news because he got cut from the UFC. Rashad Evans announces his retirement on Ariel's opening show. You got Leon Edwards, who just fought this weekend, so there you go. You got Kayla Harrison,
PFL.
This fucking girl who does the armbar, her first MMA fight, and it just look at the list. Who's this? Bokamoto. Oh, this is the ESPN guy. All right, so look at the list of people that he starts his show with. Right? He comes in and drags all of these people. So now we know. It's not the MMA Hour. It's not the production. It's fucking Ariel Helwani.
It is Ariel Helwani.
It's him.
You know what, though? They know he created the MMA. When he was on the MMA Hour, they know he created it. And Luke Thomas even said it in the beginning of the show today. He said this is a home that Ariel built, right? From the ground up. He built it from scratch. So you have to think these fighters are well aware of that as well. So it's not the fact. I mean, the show itself is good. It's got a name for it, but it's the fact that someone was able to build something that fighters actually want to be on. Why wouldn't you want to be on it?
A Drunk Savage says, and Luke had 2 retired fighters and Kelvin Gastelum. That was the other one, Kelvin Kelvin was interesting because it
was a good interview.
We got to hear the whole thing with Dana White, which is really weird. I want to touch into that. Maybe we'll touch it.
It's in the news.
Oh, it is in the news. Okay, good. But it was an interesting thing. But look what happened here. Now, maybe Luke is going another direction. A more show like this, where we do have guests on here and there, but it's more an MMA talk show that interacts with the audience. Maybe that's what Luke Thomas is doing, right? Because they see it's working over here. Or 77
But he
people.
does not have a live chat open yet.
No, and that is interesting.
Give it time.
I'm curious of this. I'm curious if Luke lobbied to have the live chat open. I'm curious if he did, because he did have it when he was on MMA Fighting. doing his morning analyst or whatever the fuck. He never read the live chat, which we do. Jay Smooth says Rasa, Rashad Evans. But it's interesting that the MMA Hour does not have that live chat open. So I'm curious if Luke tried to get it and they just put a squash on it.
Well, Ariel Helwani made the choice not to have the live chat. So
We don't know.
Well, I'm pretty sure it was.
Well, look, it's not there still.
I would think the reason for them not having a live chat is pretty valid. I mean, look at our live chat. There are times that we're just kind of like, what the fuck was this person thinking dropping that in the chat? But I would think it's probably the same situation. That's probably why they ended it in the first place. So to protect Luke Thomas, to protect whoever else might be working under that umbrella, not having a live chat is probably their best bet. And I have a feeling it might be. You're right. We don't know, but I have a feeling it might be under Ariel's rule.
See, I disagree. I think it's the Vox. I think Vox runs a tight ship, and I think whatever they say goes. The MMA Hour is a big show. It comes with a big community, and that's going to be a jumbled mess of a chat. But we have the greatest chat on YouTube, the MMA fucking Holes over here. Look at these wonderful, wonderful people.
Holes.
Now, MMA Holes, guess what? We forgot to play it. We're going to play it twice. 20 likes! 20 likes. Let's go!
20 likes. I've got fucking 20 likes. The dislikes die of leprosy.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, Jessie.
We have 40.
20 likes. I've got fucking 20 likes. And Bruce Buff. I tried to say Bruce Buffer. I've got fucking 20 likes. Dislikes die of leprosy.
All right, we're going an hour
Una
every
hora.
Monday.
Una hora.
1 hour
Todos
every.
lunes. Todos. Okay.
I do have a lot of Spanish people that watch, so thank you.
You're welcome.
But maybe you should do it after I say it.
Okay.
Yeah, translations usually happen after the comment,
Okay.
not during. Unless you're watching the press conference after a fight. You ever watch the press conferences after the fight, like if it's in another country, and they have the translator talking over the guy fighting, and you're understanding what the guy's saying, but it's like, and you can't understand. You ever hear that? It's such a clusterfuck. You would think the UFC would have that in a better situation. Anyway, all right, so we are talking about this, okay? This is the MMA Holes Hour. And it's wonderful,
MMA?
wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Okay, thank you. There's a 5-minute clock. We're going to start that clock at the end of the show. If you want to save it when we go a little bit longer, if you want us to go a little bit longer, you can save the show. We'll talk about that in a second. So let me know this. I want to know this. In the chat, did you guys watch the Ariel Helwani stream? Which I don't know where it is. I think it's on Twitter. I know it's uploaded on iTunes, I guess. I don't know where it is. I don't know how you find it. I think that's the biggest problem. Is it on ESPN? Is it on ESPN Plus? We don't know where to find the Ariel Helwani show. I did see it on Twitter, and I was able to watch a little bit of the replay. So maybe it's exclusively on Twitter. I have no fucking idea. But what I did see is Ariel is bringing the heat. So I say Ariel gets the win on this one easily over Luke Thomas. We'll see what happens. Let's look at the chat. The MMA Holes chat. Welcome, friends. How did you and Jessie meet? Says KDub32345. We met through the wonderful, wonderful world of YouTube.
YouTube.
ESPN Go. So there we go. Al My Kneecap says it's ESPN Go. So it's ESPN, I guess, Plus, what you're trying to say over there. So, or is it ESPN Go? Who knows? UFC 226 is a sexual card, says Dan Flynn. I cannot wait to dabble into UFC 226, which is coming up really soon. And I'm going to have an orgasm when it's fight week. Stipe destroys Francis, though, fam. Said destroyed. He did destroy Francis. So many casuals in this chat. Says complex Dianetics.
So many casuals in this chat, yet Complex Dianetics is like one of the newest ones here.
Yeah, he's a complex casual. Francis is a round wonder bum. A round wonder bum. Oh my God, this is gonna be complex. I love you, but I don't know what the fuck. You're gonna be an interesting one. I could tell. It sounds like Complex Dianetics kind of sounds like Henry Ford a little bit. You made the comp first, says Dark Knight Dumbo. Okay. Yo, Fears. What's up, Fears, in the chat?
Fears, man.
He's going cray-cray in that chat.
Wonderful, wonderful. And guess what, Chris? More wonderful, wonderful. That's right. It's Fears.
Thank you, Fears.
Fears.
Wonderful, wonderful.
You sound very proud of yourself.
DC's aggression might walk him into big shots, says Isaiah Moore. Now, we want to talk about this. I'm still on the DC train. Jesse's on the DC train as well.
I'm
with
still
Stipe.
on the DC train.
It's going to be tough. In topics, do we have the John Jones situation?
Topics. Yes, we do.
Okay. So listen, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. It's time for topics. Let's go. All right. Let's go to the MMA-Holes.com. If you're not familiar with the MMA-Holes.com, it is wonderful. It's the MMA-Holes.com. You can watch our live stream on there, and there is a message board that's 24/7 where you can hang with the boys.
Hang with the boys.
And girls. Jesse, what's the first thing in the news?
Kelvin Gastelum, who was on Luke Thomas's show, as we mentioned before. Kelvin Gastelum says that he was, quote, dumbfounded by Dana White's comments at the UFC 225 post-fight press conference. The whole Romero-Whitaker bullshit with Romero missing weight and all that, they had thought that they were going to have Gastelum as a backup in case Romero had missed weight. That Wednesday of fight week, they had asked Gastelum if he'd be prepared. Now, before this, before the week, when they had first asked him to be prepared to take Romero's place just in case, I guess it didn't go through. Gastelum said he wanted to get paid money for it. And his manager was setting all that up. It didn't go through. They told Gastelum it didn't go through. So Gastelum decided he was going to go on vacation.
Wait, can we slow down for a
Yes.
second? My head's going to explode.
Okay.
just taking a notch down. So Gastelum wants to go on. He was going on a vacation.
Yes.
That was his excuse.
Well, he went on vacation the first time they were trying to set up Gastelum as a backup from Romero. It
Okay.
didn't go through because he wasn't going to get paid as much as he wanted. The Wednesday of fight week, I guess someone from the UFC came back to Gastelum's manager asking him a backup because they thought Romero wasn't going to make weight that Friday, which was true. He didn't make weight. But since Gastelum already thought that it wasn't going to go through, he went on vacation. He was gone. He was gaining weight. He was eating. He was drinking. No fucks given. So Dana White, during the post-fight press conference, said Gastelum had personal issues that he had to take care of, which is why he couldn't be a part of this. He couldn't be a backup. He didn't know when Gastelum was going to fight. Gastelum said that he was completely dumbfounded by Dana White's comments because he was ready the first time around. When he thought that he was going to be a backup, he was ready to fight. But because they told him that he wasn't going to be a backup, he went out and he got out of shape.
All right,
he
so
couldn't
hold on a
understand
second.
it.
So basically, and if you're just jumping in, Dana White did speak about Kelvin Gastelum. He said he had like issues, right? He's
Yeah.
like he's got to address, he's got to take care of these issues.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Personal issues, and he made it sound like watching Dana White talk about this is like, wow, Kelvin's in some deep shit.
Yeah.
And he made it sound like, okay, he can't talk about it, but some serious stuff. And when he asked Kelvin, Kelvin's like, nah, I just went on vacation, basically, right?
Yeah, he said that he looked down at his belly, and then he was like, I don't think I can do this one. And so he didn't. I mean, in fairness to Gastelum, he was ready the first time they asked. Second time they asked, he thought he wasn't going through, so he went to Mexico.
Who do you guys believe in the chat, Kelvin Gastelum or Dana White? Let me know right now in the chat. It's so fucking weird. We've heard Dana flip-flop with his stories, but this is peculiar. This is a weird one because he literally is like, yeah, he had some personal issues and this, and Kelvin just like laughed it off. He's like, I don't even know what the hell he was talking about. Like, and Kelvin sounded extremely sincere in this. Now, Kelvin could be lying, and Dana could be white. He could be white. I think he is white, right? Oh, he's pink. He's kind of a pinkish color. But I don't know. I believe Kelvin on this one. Let me know in the chat. Who do you believe, Dana White or Kelvin Gastelum? Allman Brothers says, not Dana. Chris and Jesse, Dana White always tells the truth, says Ann H.
And H.
Dana loves the UFC, cares less for MMA, says David Flores.
Good point.
Fighters don't make that up, says Duke Chronic, and I agree with you, Duke. Jay Smooth, Don King was such a legend. Raging Al has Dana pegged. That's another thing. I don't know if that's in the news over here.
It's not.
But Raging Al Iaquinta, Dana White was asked about him versus Gaethje, and he's like, that's not happening.
Well, that was in the news the last time we did the show, and it did mention Raging Al questioning the validity of UFC 226, but it didn't go really into detail with what he was saying about Dana White.
It's really bizarre. What is going on? Like,
I think Dana White is getting caught by fighters, and the UFC is doing everything they can to cover it, so Dana White doesn't look like an asshole.
I think Dana White just doesn't give a fuck That's what I think.
That too.
I think Dana White got paid. He's having fun, right? And he just doesn't give a fuck anymore. You can tell, like Dana White used to be a prick back in the day, and he seems like he's mellowed out a little bit. But I really see this not giving a fuck side of Dana. It's really bizarre. He says, Al versus Gaethje would be a banging fight, but it's not happening. And it's like, well, hold on a second. It seemed like it was happening. Why is it not happening now? And Aya Quince is talking so much shit to Dana. It's bizarre what's going on with him and the fighters. And you see a lot of these fighters going over to Bellator. And it's interesting. It really is interesting. I kind of like this. Is Dana, let me ask you this question. Do you think Dana is doing, like, hold on, how can I put this? Do you think Dana is actually hurting the sport or helping the sport right now?
No, he's definitely helping. And I just saw Olympia say it in the chat, and he does make a very valid point. There would be no UFC without Dana. Without Dana, who else would have done it, right? And you go back and watch any of the history things about how the UFC was made, Dana White was pretty much their only person. So yeah, Dana White is helping the sport in a sense. He's helping the UFC. Is he helping MMA? Probably not. Because we even have an article in here for the news too about the UFC Health Institute. You know,
okay.
like how.
So hold on a second. So and like Jay Smooth says, promoters are professional liars, and yeah, it's his job to lie. So I do get that. It's just weird when he's kind of throwing fighters under the bus. We've seen him do this before, and it kind of doesn't make sense, especially with stars like Kelvin, who's kind of coming up the rankings now. Real good story. Had some problems with his weight, so maybe there's an issue with Dana and Kelvin from the past. How many cards has Kelvin Gastelum ruined when he was trying to make weight, right? And at 170, and he couldn't do it. And Dana was pissed and pissed and pissed. And maybe Dana has a short fuse for Kelvin Gastelum. So I could see where Dana could be upset with the guy. I could see maybe because they have a little bit of a history, Dana White is keeping Kelvin on a short leash.
Right.
Maybe that's the case, but it's bizarre. What else do we have in the news, Jess?
What's in the news? Jon Jones. I don't know how many of you guys have heard of this. If you haven't, then you are living under a rock, because Jon Jones has responded to Daniel Cormier, saying, you know who you dream about at night, quote unquote, in one of the tweets. So basically what happened is Daniel Cormier made some comments. He said that he wasn't, focusing on Jon Jones much anymore because Jon Jones was basically irrelevant. He had the fight with Stipe coming up. He doesn't want to waste his time with Jon Jones. There was 2 losses to Jones before, and there were cheats on both of them, and that was bullshit. Anyways, he basically said Jon Jones doesn't have a platform to stand on. So Jon Jones comes out with a tweet, and he says, I don't have a platform, DC. That just sounds dumb. Even after years of suspension, I have just as much, if not more, of a platform than you. Every win you get goes on my resume. You know who you dream about at night. I'm sure your wife knows too. And then he came out with a few more comments saying, at first I thought you were trying to convince the fans I beat you because of performance-enhancing drugs, but now I'm pretty sure you have convinced yourself too. Keep doing that. Good thing for you. The next time we fight, I'll be all cleaned up. Let's see you dominate me this time, since I cheated the first 2. And he also came back with one more tweet stating about Cormier's upcoming fight with Stipe, that he would like Stipe to win, or he would like DC to win. Saying good luck in your next fight. I've always wanted to be a heavyweight champ. Who's your daddy? So basically saying he hopes that he wins against Stipe so that he can fight him for the heavyweight belt. Now, Daniel Cormier did respond with one tweet, and he said, John, you're a bitch. You're one now, always been one. Sit back and watch me be great, you steroid cheat. Let's not talk about wives, man. Come on, I'm sure with all the shit you've done, I could get a conversation from your wife. I mean, from your girlfriend. Baby mama, ? With a blushing face. And then someone, a fan, or the Chump Chump, came out and said, DC, you're better than this. Take the high road. DC retweeted and said, I always do. Fuck him. It was done from there. So we have no idea what's going to happen with this banter. It's kind of a wait and see if Jon Jones decides to respond.
It's pretty interesting, too, when I was looking over at Twitter, and this is on MMA Fighting. You can go check out the article over there. On the MMA-Holes.com, we dropped the article link. But it's interesting because when I looked over at Jon Jones' Twitter, I saw him firing shots, and I didn't see much coming from Cormier. It seems to me that Jon Jones is doing everything he could possibly do to keep his name relevant.
Bingo.
And it's it's kind of getting annoying, to be honest.
No, I completely agree with you on that. I think you are 100%. That is the first thing I thought when I read this article. First thing I thought was Jon Jones just wants to stay relevant.
The Colby Covington thing.
Exactly.
He just keeps on dipping his face into things. And yeah, I do want to see Jon back. You know, like Jesse, we disagree there. As much as I'm not a Jon Jones fan, I respect the man for what he's accomplished. The guy is fantastic. But is he a cheater? Let's see him come back and pass some piss tests. Let's see him do that and fight at heavyweight. He says he wants DC to win. And this way, he always wanted to be a heavyweight champ, right? DC, on the other hand, and I don't know if this is in the news, the DC said something about he has 2 more fights left, right? Is that in the news or?
It's not in the news for the
All right, we'll
MMA
talk
Holes,
about
but I do know which article you're talking about.
All right, so DC did say this, and it was on Ariel's show, right? On Ariel's show on ESPN. DC made mentions to, after this fight, he's got 2 more left in him. He's pushing 40 right now. He's got 2 more left. And the 2 fights he wants are both at heavyweight. He wants Jon Jones and Brock Lesnar. Interesting. Now, if DC loses to Stipe, that could put a monkey wrench into the situation. Although, it doesn't put a monkey wrench into the Brock Lesnar fight. That fight can still happen, right? But it does put a monkey wrench with Jon Jones because it kind of doesn't really, I don't know. Maybe it could happen.
I don't care. I'm not going to lie. I don't care to see Jon Jones versus DC again.
What?
I don't care.
What?
I know. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to be completely honest with you, and I know I'm probably going to get lit on fire for this, but I do not give a fuck about Jon Jones versus DC again. If DC is going to have 2 more fights, Jon Jones should not be one of them. I honestly, I'm so over the
Let me ask you
DC
this
Jones
question.
hype.
Let me spin it. You could look at it, yeah, DC lost twice, which he did, okay? But now you have the win that was taken away from Jon Jones because of the cheating. So if Jon Jones can get to the scale, get into the cage clean, you wouldn't want to see something like that? Since
No.
one was
I'm
wiped
so
away.
over it. Guys, I know that a lot of people might disagree, but here's the thing. Jon Jones DC, it was a great hype. It was fantastic. I loved watching it. I loved the hype that was building up to it. I loved the banter back and forth. But it's over. It's done.
Well,
he cheated. It's done.
Okay, let me
the
ask you a
whole thing
question.
is done.
So Jon Jones is coming back regardless.
It doesn't matter. I don't care about Jon Jones versus DC. I really don't. I could give 2 fucks. I'd rather see DC Stipe. I'd rather see DC Lesnar even. I would rather see DC Lesnar over DC Jones. I really don't care about Jones DC anymore.
Here's why I would like to see DC versus Jones. And let me paint it this way. DC in the second fight the fight that got wiped away, DC was doing a good job in that fight, and DC had a good chance of winning that fight. He got caught.
Exactly.
He got caught. If he didn't get caught, we don't know how that would have ended up. DC was actually hanging in there, and he actually looked very confident in that fight. Hands dropped, got caught up top. Could you imagine this? Before DC retires, his last fight is against Jon Jones, and he wins.
DC is so much more above Jon Jones at this point. He's so much further above Jon Jones. Jon Jones doesn't deserve a fight with DC again. He doesn't deserve it.
Isaiah Moore says even if DC wins, he's still down 2-1. Not really, because 1 got taken away. That fight doesn't exist.
It doesn't matter. Do you realize that when Jon Jones, when he was busted for cheating, DC didn't even want the belt that they were gonna give to him because it wasn't a rightful win?
You're telling me that you wouldn't want to see possibly. Now, I'm not saying Jon Jones is going to lose to DC, but you wouldn't want to watch something with a possibility of Jon Jones getting beat up by a 40-year-old man, rides off into the sunset. You wouldn't want to see that.
No.
I would want to see that.
No. You know what? If Jon Jones is going to get beat up by a 40-year-old man, let Yoel Romero jump on him or some shit. Let some other 40-year-old fighter jump on him.
All right, so let's do it this way. Who is beating Jon Jones?
Nobody, because Jon Jones is a cheater.
But he's coming back regardless.
And I guarantee he'll come back as a cheater.
Let me know what you think of the chat. Let me know, Jon Jones. Would you like to see DC Jones 3? It's kind of like 2. Who would you like to see? Or would you like to see DC fight everyone but Jon Jones? Let me know in the chat right now. The second fight was pretty artful by Jon Bones Jones, his Dark Knight. It was a good fight between the both of them. I have to say, DC was turning it up and got caught. I wanted Jon Bones Jones versus Brock with no testing. I'm down for that. I'll sign up for that one. Sean Hart says, I agree. JBH, just like Ferguson versus Khabib,
Yep.
I'm over the hype.
Yep.
Now, Ferguson versus Khabib is a completely different monster. Fights that were supposed to happen and constantly fall apart should never happen. So that's where I'm going to have to shoot that one down. But I see what you're saying. Yes, once a cheat, always a cheat. Have to agree with Jessie.
There you go, Isaiah.
Jones will always, hold on, he goat or be goat, you're trying to say? Guys, if you watched his fight versus cheaters, you would not disagree. All right. Gustafsson is one I would like to see. Sure. The rematch, for sure. That was the first guy that really took John Jones into deep water. So, yeah, DC needs to beat him for his own sake. It's his Olympia
For
lowlife.
his own personal agenda, I could see
story.
why DC would want to beat John Jones. I get it. Yeah, here's the thing, and I even said people might disagree. I get why, for DC's personal reasons, he would want to beat John Jones. But even DC is saying he's over it. He doesn't give a fuck about this.
And here's the thing. I notice a lot of people in the chat are saying, John's a cheater. I agree. John Jones is a cheater. John Jones has used steroids. And his career has an asterisk next to it, right? Until he can clean himself up, there is no way you could look at him for being pound for pound the greatest of all time, right? But could you imagine the possibility of Daniel Cormier choking out John Jones? Could you imagine that?
Okay, I'm gonna make it very clear. I'm not saying it wouldn't be cool to see DC choking out John Jones. That would be awesome, especially given the history between John Jones and DC. Yeah, it'd be cool to see. It'd be cool to see it happen, and John Jones would deserve it. For sure. I'm not gonna lie, he would certainly deserve it. I don't want my biggest like hype, the biggest fight that I want to see is not John Jones versus DC. I can tell you that much.
But here's the thing though. John Jones is coming back. Who do you want John to fight?
I could give a fuck. I don't like John Jones.
But he's gonna fight.
But I don't like John Jones. I don't give a fuck. I really don't give a fuck. And like I said, people are gonna. I know for a fact.
Well, you're gonna have to watch, right? So, are you just gonna turn around while he's fighting?
I will watch. I will watch the fight, but it's not gonna be it's not gonna be the first fight on the card. Then I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm so pumped for John Jones's fight. I don't care.
Okay, so I understand where you stand. What he did is wrong.
But it's not just what
he
he did.
But saying you don't care.
No, it's not just what he did. Here's the thing. You have to look at this.
I don't like the guy. I hate him. I'm not a fan of John Jones, even though we have friends of John come on the show.
It's sort of like you see people come into the chat all the time and they talk about Conor McGregor. They're like, oh, get off of Conor McGregor's ass. Conor McGregor's over. It's all, we don't need to talk about Conor McGregor anymore, right? But we still talk about Conor McGregor, correct? Do we still talk about whether he comes back, whether he doesn't come back, who's his fight going to be? Is he going to fight Khabib? It doesn't matter. He's been gone. So John Jones has been gone, guys. He's been gone for a while. Cheater or not, he's been gone, right? There was a whole hype over John Jones. And then John Jones disappears. Why do we need to keep a hype over him? We don't even know when he's coming.
He's arguably the greatest of all time.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
Right now, okay. Right now, if you were to say John Jones comes back and he's clean, he is I don't like the guy, but I'm a realist.
I will give you this. He's a great fighter.
He's probably
a
the greatest of all time.
fantastic fighter. But he's a cheater.
Okay.
Okay. Not only has he cheated
once.
So
is Anderson Silva.
Not only has he cheated once, he cheated, he got suspended. He comes back and cheats again and gets suspended. What's to say he doesn't come back and cheat for a third fucking time because he can't seem to keep his fucking nose out of the drugs?
Well, here's the thing. He's still coming back. Regardless whether you want him or not.
I don't give a fuck.
He's still coming back.
Come back, John Jones. I don't care. I'll watch you. I'll watch you, but I really don't give a fuck.
All right, let me know what you think in the chat. Let's move to the next topic. What else do we got in the news? The MMA-Holes.com.
What's in the news? Nate Diaz was allegedly involved in a brawl at a Sacramento Jiu-Jitsu event. So I don't really know where this event took place, but TMZ did report it. Diaz, there's a little video of it if you want to click. There is a video of the whole thing. He's more in the side, so you can't really see it too much. But Nate Diaz you can see him throwing a swing at somebody. Super chat.
Harvey.
Dana didn't build Fetitas hard pussy mouth.
What? Dana didn't build UFC. The Fatitas did. All right, it says feta cheese. Yeah, the Fatitas. Ugh. The Fatitas, they put the money behind it, but Dana was the face. So as much as I want to dog Dana White.
Fatitas.
Yeah, Dana was the face of the organization. So, But if it wasn't for the Fertitas, there would be no UFC. So I get what you're saying. Thank you, Harvey. So here we go. Nate Diaz.
Yes, there is a video of the incident that TMZ did report, but he was seen in the video throwing a punch early on in the altercation between him and this other individual. We don't really know what caused the issue, but he got into a skirmish, is what they called it, a skirmish.
Now, can I pause you for a second?
Yes.
Okay. Here's the thing. I know there's a lot of Diaz brothers fans, and I enjoy the Diaz brothers. I always get amped up when these guys get into the cage, right? Yeah, the way to the cage, it's always fun. There's shit talking. There's shenanigans in the cage. It's fun to watch, right? With that being said, when are we going to start dogging these guys, right? Like, everyone's jumping on Conor, and he's done some really stupid shit.
Well, we do dog these guys.
Well, we do, but when is it going to, when are we all going to understand that these guys are jerk-offs too, right? There's something, maybe it's money, and I think that's what's the common denominator here. The fighters get paid, and then they act like fucking idiots, right? And here we go again. Brawls outside of the cage. What are you doing? Like, what is going on here? Like, seriously. We just want to see you back in the cage, compete at the highest level. You're in the UFC, for fuck's sake. Why are we fighting outside of the cage? Ridiculous. Now, Jesse, get back into the story.
Well, that's pretty much it. He got into a skirmish. This is probably the second article that we've heard about some sort of confrontation with the Diaz brothers in the last 2 weeks. So.
Harvey.
I'm sick of hashtag Divas Brothers shit. Can we move on?
The Divas brothers. Yeah, it's bizarre. All right, we're going to run through the topics. Thank you, Harvey. If you want to donate, Super Chat's open. Get your donations in quick, because we're only going a fucking hour until the last 5 minutes. All right, here we go.
All right, next topics. Rashad Evans has announced his retirement with Ariel Helwani. He announced his retirement from MMA. He says he's going to retire, and with his last fight that he had just had at UFC 225, he did take a first-round knockout loss to Anthony Smith, and he said that walking out, before the walkout, he said that he was going to know. When it was ready for him to retire, he'll know, and he felt it. He felt it right before he walked out that this is most likely his last fight, and that's exactly what happened. After that loss, he knew that was about the time that he should put the gloves away.
It's kind of weird. Like, and good job by Ariel dragging Rashad on. Rashad, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? And then he gets him on at the time where you want to hear about him. He hangs up the gloves. I don't understand this. Like, if you're going to fight and if you lose in such a dramatic way, right? Why not just have your moment? Put the gloves on the mat. And Rashad never had a chance to do that. A former champ. Never had a chance to do that. And did he? I wonder if he said if he regretted not dropping the gloves down there, because that's an awesome moment.
Well, he did make a comment about how it kind of sucks that his last fight was a loss, but he says he doesn't. He says that he's been through a lot of experiences that most fighters are still struggling to get to, and he feels that he's holding up those opportunities for other people, having him already experience them.
It's weird. And Michael Bisping, another one. He missed out on an opportunity to just have a moment. It's bizarre. It kind of sucks. I like to see guys, listen, Rashad, unfortunately, a lot of people could remember Rashad for his last 4 or 5 years, or actually 3 or 4 years, where it was just like, oh my God, what's going on with this guy, right? That's what people like BJ Penn,
right.
They forget that these guys, and these guys are extreme elite athletes, and their accomplishments get forgotten about because of their last couple of years, and Rashad's going to be another one.
There's a humbleness in fighters, though. Some fighters just don't want all of that public attention. They just want to enjoy that. They want to do their passion, and then they leave, It's sort of like that, I think.
All right, what else have we got in the news? MMA-Holes Hour. Make sure you like the shit out of this. 56 is completely unacceptable. Right now, like the fuck out of this video. Stop being a pussy or a cunt. Like our video right now. What else in the news?
All right, last but not least, everyone has been creating such a hype over the weight cutting taking place for the UFC fighters. So the UFC Performance Institute did a long 10-page paper synopsis thing on extreme weight cutting, stating that it is indeed a problem, the extreme weight cutting. It's not healthy for the fighters. They gave a huge list as to why they think fighters should stay within 10% of their weight range, and that it should be 52-week camps instead of 8-week camps because it's a healthier way to go. But the problem with that is there's no way for them to put that into place and to go forth with an idea like that, because fighters sometimes have contracts that are 4 months within each other, like Kayla Harrison, so it's hard to do 52-week camps in the healthiest way. They have to go with the least healthy way. So they're still working on it. It is unhealthy. They are fully aware that it is unhealthy, and there's a huge controversy over weight cutting right now.
Super chat.
Van Shipman comes in.
Diaz Conor 3 fight will save UFC. Hey JBH Heart Mystic.
Van Shipman?
You're wonderful.
Hey.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Van Shipman. We do appreciate all the support from the wonderful. Whoa, there's a little peek of something there. When we get to subscriber goals, you'll see that.
Subscriber goal.
Check this out. All right, so there's one more thing I want to talk about. We'll open up the phone lines, and we're going to put 5 minutes on the clock to end the MMA Holes hour. I do want to speak of this. Kevin Lee with GSP. Now, I know our friend over here, here's JBH. Look out. She's coming in. Look at this. It's a crime alert. Attempted BMV suspect. And here's JBH coming in. Subscribe to Not the MMA Holes. Link in the description, and you'll understand what that's about. Shout out to Marky Wahoo. I want to jump over to, and this is on the MMAHoles.com if you want to see any of the shenanigans over here and add to our autism. Dan from Oregon, shout out to him, was talking about this on his channel. Kevin Lee calls for a 165 weight class, wants to fight GSP. This is on the message board. Dan from Oregon drops this over there, and I'm going to touch on this. This is going to be the last topic that I want to touch on. Let's see. He puts, what if at International Fight Week, the UFC announces 2 new divisions and some epic 4-man tournaments? Now, Dan, I love this. I fucking love this, right? 155, Conor, Tony, Eddie, Dustin, Al. Calgary needs a boost. Check ticket sales. So that's good, right? That tournament, I think we would all be on board for something like that. I don't think we'll see it because of the notorious one, but it would be fun. It would be a fun idea. 165, GSP, Khabib, Colby, Justin. 175, Woodley, Till, Gastelum, Usman. Now, I do want to talk about this. 165, the weight class that kind of needs to happen. Now, we didn't get a chance to touch on this, but we got to go through real quick. Donald Cerrone catches an L to Leon Edwards, and 165, 165 pounds is a weight class that should be there. A lot of people want this weight class, and I think out of all the extra weight classes, this is something to look at. It seems like 155 to 170, there's a bizarre problem there. And 165 should be a weight class that happens. Let me know in the chat, would you like to see more weight classes, specifically a 165? Jesse, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I definitely think there should be more weight classes. I know that some people have a problem with there being history weight classes and whatnot, but I honestly think if it's healthier for the fighter, if it puts the fighter at less of a risk to be hospitalized, then why not, right? Why not?
Yeah, I agree. I think those weight classes are weight class. There needs to be more. I don't think it's going to solve the problems with weight cutting, but it will help a little bit.
It'll alleviate some of the problem.
It'll help somewhat. 60 likes, 20 likes. Fuck the
20 likes. I've got fucking 20 likes. 20 likes. I've got fucking 20 likes.
I've got fucking
20 likes. Dislikes die of leprosy.
There we go. Thank you for the likes. I do appreciate it. You're all wonderful, wonderful. That's right. WMMA Seam says, only weight class I wanted added in UFC is women's atom weight. You know what? That's something that should be there. The women's MMA, I think, is a problem altogether. There are so many problems. The 145 weight class is a clusterfuck, and then you got these other girls coming in at 155 at PFL. There's just so many bizarre weight classes. I don't know. I hope women's MMA can pull itself together a little bit better, but we'll see how that works. All right, we're gonna open up the phone lines. We got 10:53 right now in 2 minutes.
We have 1 minute.
So we're going to start this clock over here when there's 5 minutes left in the show. It's called Save the Show.
Save the show.
And we've been flying tonight. We have a lot of things to talk about. We're going to open up the phone lines. But with an hour, only an hour, it's the MMA Holes hour, you have a chance to extend the show. And this is how this works. 82 people watching. A donation that comes in within that 5 minutes left has to say Save the Show. And whatever denomination they make it, if it's $1, we'll extend it 1 minute. If it's $100, we'll extend it 100 minutes. That's how that's going to work. You have to say, save the show, and that denomination will save it. If we do not get the donation within the last 5 minutes, we shut her down at an hour.
And we'll see you again on Wednesday.
I love the pacing of an hour show. And the one thing about Luke Thomas's show that I like a lot is it's 2 hours, right? It's short. The 5 hour marathon that Ariel does, he packs a lot of things in there, but I don't know. People have things to do. I like to cram it in, get all the information out, and see you later. I think that's how it should be, and that's how this is going to be on Monday. We're going to be live 5 times this week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We got the Contender Series. We've got PFL. We have our Wednesday show.
Fook off Fridays?
Fook off Friday. So make sure you subscribe. If you're not, you can lick my balls.
Lick my balls.
All right.
my balls.
Here we go. We're going to start the clock over here. With 5 minutes on the clock, will someone save the show?
Save the show.
You have 5 minutes to put in your donation. Whatever denomination it is, will save the show.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I had to. Wait.
Cumin.
No. All right, come on.
All right, stop it. Cut it out. All right, her alarm went off. Let's do this. Let's open up the phone lines at 516-522-0267. Get your calls in. We spoke about a lot tonight. I want to know what you think about the fight card that happened, and here we go. Who we got here? 443, you're live on the MMA-Holes. What's your name and what's on your mind?
It's Smooth. What's up?
What's up, Jay
Smooth?
What's shaking, man? What's on your mind?
Shit, man.
CBD.
Really, I'm
hold on a second.
CBD.
Hold on, Jay. Hold on. We got a donation coming in.
CBD.
Marky Wahoo.
CBD. It helps with healing process and inflammation.
All right.
Like that. So you wanted to get these for before or after the fight training and make your life a better place.
Marky Wahoo saves the show.
Save the fucking show, ya scallywaggers.
All right, so Marky
4
Wahoo
minutes.
saves it 4 minutes and 20 seconds extra. Thank you. You are a wonderful, wonderful. Jay, what's on your mind, man?
Oh man, I'm trying to find something to look forward to this week because, International Fight Week's next week. So, other than the Contender Series on Tuesday, when Valentina Shevchenko's sister fights for a contract, I don't know what else to really look forward to.
Yeah, the Valentina on the Contender Series, her sister. I'm looking forward to that shit. I have a feeling they're gonna set. I don't know who she's fighting, but I have a feeling it's gonna be a complete can. I really think they want this girl in. She's pretty. She's got some talent. But here's what's interesting about her sister. What if she doesn't get a finish, right? If she goes the distance, you got to think the UFC wants her in there, right? What if she just wins a decision? Do you think they're just going to throw her bone and bring her in? Or do you think they're actually going to be like, nope, you didn't make it?
They're probably going to do it because they need as much talent as they can get at this point, especially for that weight class. Like, they're trying to build it, I guess she's fighting a flyweight?
Yeah, I think it is flyweight. I'm pretty sure it is.
I guess they're trying to build the weight class a bit with some credible contenders in the future for Valentina, so it's possible. Even though I don't think she'll fight her sister, but you never know.
That'd be crazy. Could you imagine if the UFC was able to pull off something like that? It would be so epic. But no, I don't see that happening. Jay, what else is on your mind?
Oh man, actually, I just wanted to wish you both congratulations, especially you, Chris. I want to congratulate you on the upgrade, and I just want to give you two some advice.
Yeah.
Listen. Have fun, do what you do, and if anything happens, because we're all human and mistakes happen, just make sure you send her to me, and I will take care of it free of charge.
Dr. J.
The clinic is still open for business, and I'm still bringing business, so
all right, hold on.
Don't worry, I got you.
Thank you, Jay.
Niagara
Appreciate
Falls, Canada represent.
Hey, Canada in the house. What's up, Niagara? CMAC 2119. All right, so you're saying you'll have the coat hanger on standby.
Yes, sir, the coat hanger and everything, and I'll send her back to you good as new.
All right, thank you, Jay. Appreciate it. That's
Thanks,
very
Jay.
nice. All right, so Jay Smooth calling in. There we go. Canada in the house over there. It's good to know that Jay Smooth. All right, that was wonderful. All right. If you guys want to know anything behind the scenes stuff, it's called the MMA, not the MMA Holes. Link in the description over there, and we get a little more personal with our friends, the MMA Holes.
Stay alive. How do I dial in? Peas, I want some pussy.
All right, thank you, Harvey. You dial in by just going to the phone number 516-522-0267.
0267.
All right, give us a call. Give us a ring.
Jesus Christ. In 1 minute, I start 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah, I'll put it on the clock. But good stuff. Thanks to Marky Wahoo for saving the show 4 minutes and 20 seconds extra. So we're going to do this every Monday. Only on Mondays. Every time we go live. Wow, who we got here? Hold on, we got a bypass. We got Jose calling in. Here we go. Jose, what's going on?
Wait, you
quickly?
gotta-
What's your name and what is on your? I gotta go quick.
Jose.
There you go.
Chris, man, what the hell's going on, bro? How you doing, man?
I'm good. Now, listen, there was another caller coming in. I didn't recognize the number, so Jose, we had to bypass and put you on. What's on your mind?
Oh man, I just wanted to check in with you real quick. I'm not a fanboy of like celebrity type shit. I don't give two fucks about that type. I'm a real person. I like the fighters. But I do got to say that I'm very sad that Anthony Bourdain died. That has nothing to do with fighting, but man, I fucking love that guy's show. It's a shame that he hung it up. But anyhow.
Hold on a second.
Anyhow, yeah.
Save the show, MUTHERFOOKERS.
Thank you, Flat Earth. But Marky Wahoo saved it with 4 minutes and 20 seconds. I'm going to start the clock after Jose's call. All right, Jose.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man, I just wanted to give a shout-out to Bourdain. I really enjoyed his show. I think that's a fucking tragedy. But anyhow, back to the important stuff. I don't know if you've been paying attention to this little feud that's been going on right now with John Jones and DC. I mean, of course, that's nothing new. Them two always go back and forth. But, you know, this brings up a very interesting scenario, Chris. I've always thought that Daniel Cormier...
Hold on a second.
Never...
Hold that thought. Hold that thought.
Ji and Kim busted Fabian's I good. Also, Yan Xiaonan is a goddess of violence and aggression. P.S.
Save the show.
All right, so here's the deal. Marky Wahoo put the donation in for saving the show. So we're going to go extra 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Thank you. And that card, there was a lot of Asian talent on there. And I tell you what, it was a good card. Jose, back to DC and John Jones.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, you know what, on a side note, those little fucking Asians, God bless them. Asians remind me of Mexicans. Just, you know, they look a little different, but they're small frame, small dudes, but they're fucking savage. There was a few finishes. I really liked that show. But DC and fucking John Jones beef. So we're about, 2 weeks away from the fight that every fucking body's been waiting for. You know that Stipe against DC is like the biggest thing this fucking summer. So, I mean, that's a huge question mark. We know that we're all picking DC, but, man, Stipe, he's one punch away from knocking him out. And today, Cormier was on Helwani's new fucking ESPN show, and he was saying that if he wins, it's going to be a decision, and if he loses, it's going to be a knockout.
Well, there you go. I gotta go back and listen to that interview. I have to listen to a lot of those interviews. He had some gems on today. You listened to the whole show?
So, well, I did. I listened to the DC interview, and listen, man, I know we talk shit about some of the other MMA personalities, but it's all fucking love, dude. It's all fun and games. Like, obviously, we're very tribal, so I fuck with you, so I back you up because I like Chris. I like the MMA host, so I'll talk shit about these other guys.
That's right.
But I watch them too, man. They're putting out quality content. So what I was getting at between John Jones and DC is now the possibility that John Jones could come back from his suspension after DC could potentially be the fucking heavyweight champ. And then they come for the trilogy. That my fucking dude, I would my fucking nutsack would explode to the floor. That's it. I would die right there. Imagine John fucking Jones against Daniel Cormier for the heavyweight strap. Speak on it, Chris.
All right, thanks, Jose. See, Jose, now we're going to
Speak on it, Chris.
I am going to speak on that. And Jose, I like when people agree with me. All right, so here we go. We're going to start the 4 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock over there. There we go. 4 minutes and 20 seconds have gone. And here's the deal. The MMA-Holes hour, we're going to do that. The last 5 minutes, the first donation that comes in, that donation amount. Now, if it's a low amount, you're only going to get that number. 4 minutes and 20 seconds is left in the show. We can thank Marky Wahoo for that. WMMA Scene, thank you for your donation, but it came after Marky's. I would like to go another 9 minutes and 99.
But unfortunately.
10 minutes. But yeah, Marky beat you to it. All right, so let's talk about that.
Gotta be first.
DC versus John. But I do appreciate the donation. Thank you so much. And I want to take more donations. I want to keep the show going. But rules are rules, Jessie, right?
Rules are rules.
Yeah. So John Jones versus Daniel Cormier for the heavyweight strap. That's what I'm talking about. The trilogy. I mean, listen, I know DC technically lost 2, but technically he didn't lose 2 because of it gotten taken away. So Jessie is not on board with John Jones versus DC. Me and Jose are on board with it again. I mean, how could you not want to see the heavyweight fight?
I am not going to go through this again. If you missed it, make sure you watch the replay because there is no way I'm going to re-justify my standing on Jon Jones versus DC.
It's one thing if you don't like him. It's another thing if
It's
you don't want to see
not
good
just not
fights.
liking him.
Yeah.
It's not just not liking him. It's not.
When we do a fight, buddies,
Yes.
for the next Jon Jones fight, I'm going to blindfold you. I'm going to blindfold you until
I
the
never
fight's
said
over.
I wouldn't watch the fight. I never said that. I said I would watch. Did
Yeah.
you guys go back and listen? I said
But you
I would
backtracked.
watch Jon Jones, but I'm not going to give a fuck. Because Jon Jones and DC is over. Forget about it.
Would you want to see?
Forget about
Would you want to
it.
see Conor Diaz 3?
No.
Oh, you
Yes.
want, you're one. Okay. All righty. 516-522-0267. There's only 2 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock. And we're going to shut this thing down. One more call. Make your point very quick. And we're going to shut it down. If a call doesn't come in 2 minutes, well, that's it. That's the end of the show. Thank you for watching. Every night this week, we will be streaming Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And here's the last call.
I got it.
Oh, Jessie, it's your friend calling in. Van Shipman.
Van Shipman, you are live with the MMA-Holes. What's your name? Your name is Van Shipman. What's on your mind?
What's happening, y'all?
What's up, Van?
Hey, so you don't want to see Diaz McGregor 3. Did you just say that?
No, she changed her mind.
I do. I would like to see Diaz Conor 3.
Mm-hmm.
I would too. I mean, I think it would, give a boost to the sinking ship that is currently the UFC. I mean, the next fight coming up is going to be great, but I want to see that third fight, man. I want to see him bang it out.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. But when it comes to Jon Jones, there's just a whole thing with that whole spiraling snowball effect that I'm not on board with.
Yeah, snowball. That's a key word, too. John likes the snow. But,
yeah.
Yeah,
I like how you laugh
really
at everything,
care.
Van Shipman. I love your laugh.
I don't care about the Jon Jones fighting, again with that. But I am pretty down with the DC Stipe fight. It's going to be a great fight.
Agreed.
Really good one.
Yeah, I think we all agree on that one for sure. All right, Van Shipman, go back to doing those lines of blow or whatever the hell you're doing over there.
Hey, peace, guys.
All
How
right, be
you
good.
doing?
All right, there he goes. Van Shipman. Love that guy. I wish it's like he has like Xanax. Like he has like a 24/7 Xanax thing going. I love it. Right? He sounds just like the chillest
I like that he
motherfucker
laughs
out
at
there.
everything. Like you could just say, "Oh, hey, how's it going, Van Shipman?"
He's the best.
I love
that guy.
Van Shipman.
Yeah.
He's
All
the
right,
best.
Jessie.
Yessie.
Talk to the crew.
We have been live for an additional 4 minutes and 20 seconds, guys, in 10 seconds. So as always, don't be an a-hole. Be an MMA hole.